What up, African world? Welcome to another video of African history, culture, and worldview, and welcome back to my series, A Closer Look. Today, we're going to be taking a closer look at the Gullah people of America. And as always, if you want to support the home team on these videos and future animated projects, you may do so on patreon.com. Also, go to Afrographics.com, a website where you can find illustrative infographics on African history. All links in the description box below. The term Gullah refers to the language, culture, and peoples of the Sea Islands of South Carolina, Georgia, and northern Florida. These groups of former enslaved Africans are perhaps the most unique group of people in America because of their rich culture and because they've been here for so long. For the Gullah people, economic and social isolation created a unique Creole culture and society amongst them. In Georgia, Gullah people are sometimes referred to as the Geechee, a name derived from the nearby Ogeechee River. The history of the Gullah people began with the large-scale migration of Caribbean planters to the South Carolina and Georgia Sea Islands in the 17th and 18th centuries. Relocating en masse with their newly enslaved and seasoned Africans, local planters re-established absentee plantations, where interactions between blacks and whites were limited. As early as the first decade of the 17th century, enslaved and free black people outnumbered whites in the region, and by the 19th century, the number of enslaved black people inhabiting the islands had grown to 80% of the local population and over 95% in rural pockets along the coast. The unusually large numbers of newly arrived enslaved Africans and African Americans in the region played a very important role in the development of the Gullah culture and language. This population, combined with their relative isolation from the rest of the country and other African Americans, fostered the Gullah culture and language. Some can even make a fair claim that the Gullah people are a subgroup or branch of the African American populace. The Sea Islands, which consist of several hundred low flat islands in close proximity to the South Carolina and Georgia coast, range in size from the small to larger islands located off the coast of urban centers. Well into the 19th century, the islands had limited contact with the mainland, creating a cultural hotspot for the various black peoples that gathered there. The coastal isolation of the islands also facilitated the continued importation of illegally imported Africans who were sold to Sea Island planters as late as 1858. The Gullah language consists of several regional dialects and can even sometimes be unintelligible to standard English speakers. Colonel Thomas Wentworth Higginson, abolitionist and author of Army Life in the Black Regiment, was among the many Northerners who remarked on the unique grammatical cadence and vocabulary of the Gullah people during and immediately after the Civil War. When folklorists were able to interview residents, Native Africans and other former enslaved black people were still alive to share folkways passed down from their recent ancestors. The Gullah people's contact with Africans reinforced beliefs and practices passed down centuries before. However, events of the 19th century also contributed to the development of Gullah culture. Immediately following the American Civil War, many whites abandoned their Sea Island plantations, leaving large numbers of enslaved people and freedmen with unregulated access to land. Precipitated by the arrival of Union troops and Northern aid workers, the islands became a testing ground for post-war programs that sought to integrate free men into free society. As white flight to the mainland further isolated the islands, inland African Americans seeking land brought language and culture from the outside to the region. Although some whites regained rights to their land after the war, the experiences of wartime land ownership helped limit the effects of black outmigration after emancipation. Once someone hears the Gullah language, it becomes hard to forget. The Gullah language represents a blend of European, Caribbean, and African elements acquired during the 3 centuries of the Atlantic slave trade. Contrary to the beliefs of 19th century scholarship, Gullah is not a simplified version of English, but a complex blend of English and several African languages. A pioneering figure concerning the African influence on Gullah language is an African-American linguist named Lorenzo Doe Turner. His work carried a debate for generations to come and has undoubtedly stood the test of time. Though others have tweaked his work, rearranging particular details, his discovery has been the foundation of studies on the African influence on the Gullah language. His book, Africanisms in the Gullah Dialect, was considered not only the pioneering work of Gullah language and culture, but also the advent of a new field in African American studies. Before him, it was largely assumed that African culture and language were erased by slavery, and that Gullah was simply dumbed down English, as mentioned before. He was the first to connect the Gullah dialect to its African origin. Turner elevated the debate from one based on speculation to one based on demonstration. Turner identified Africanisms in personal names, everyday conversation, and words heard only in songs, stories, and prayers amongst the Gullah people. He proclaimed that there were several African ethnic groups that contributed to the Gullah language. The languages consist of Wolof, Mandinka, Bambara, Fulani, Mende, Vai, Twi, Fante, Ga, Ewe, Fon, Yoruba, Bini, Hausa, Igbo, Bakongo, Ubundu, and many others. Gullah culture closely followed the pattern of language, borrowing heavily from African folkways. Anthropologists and folklorists have identified strong ties to African folk beliefs regarding family organization, religious practice, work patterns, and artistic expression. The enslaved Gullah people in rice-producing regions off the coast, for example, worked rice fields in an African manner using African-style baskets and fans to process the commodity. They also used baskets to carry goods in a style reminiscent of Western Central African culture and produce coiled pottery and household items identical to those produced in West Africa. When it comes to religion, the Gullah today are primarily Christian, but they incorporated elements of African song and dance into their religious practices, such as the ring shout. Gullah spiritualism is derived from African and Caribbean rituals. Even though the Gullah have been relatively isolated for years, the influx of tourism and other economic transformations have led to the decline of the Gullah way of life. Even though the numbers of Gullah speakers are in decline, their unique history and legacy in that region remains one of the gems of American history. Well, I'm all out, guys. If you like these videos and want to help out in its continued production, please consider supporting the home team on patreon.com. The link is in the description box below. Know thyself. Remember your ancestors. Peace.